This tutorial will show how to diagram a simple argument using the lab exercise software from the course. This software is very much like iLogos if you download that, so this should familiarize you with how to diagram arguments in iLogos. So here we have the argument, Kiara goes to the movies. And it says, you shouldn't believe that Kiara was home studying since I saw her at the movies. So the first thing we want to look for is premise or conclusion indicators. We see that we have a premise indicator here, since, so that we know that what follows since, the I saw her at the movies, is a premise, and so what comes before it, you shouldn't believe that Kiara was home studying, must be the conclusion. So the first thing I want to do is copy the text in here and paste it in a new box. Let's do that again. So I click on the box tool and make a box. I click on it so that I get the text box and I just paste it in. And then I can make this into the premise. So we'll want to remove the premise indicator and label it as P1. And then we'll cut out the premise from here so that we're left with just the conclusion. And we'll label that with a C for conclusion. Okay, and then we need to look and see if everything is a complete independent sentence. So here in the conclusion it says, you shouldn't believe that Kiara was home studying. So we have the pronoun you, which obviously refers to whoever the author of the argument is speaking to, but we don't know who that is, so we can't replace that with a name. So we'll just have to leave that as is. So if we want to make, show what I did earlier, when you see these little handles on it, that means you can sort of expand the box, change the size and shape. So if I want, it makes the thing wider or shorter. And as I make it shorter, it gets longer to accommodate the text. And then I can move it. Okay, so this says, I saw her at the movie. So we can't do anything about the I. That's whoever is giving the argument, but we don't know who that is. But we do know who the her is. It's Kiara. So we're going to replace that with Kiara. Because we want, when we look at the premise, we want to be able to assess the truth value of that statement on its own without having to look at the rest of the argument, because it could get confusing. And also, it's just good policy. Now I can say, if I knew who I was, I could say whether this was true or false. We at least have a better handle. And then we make an arrow by clicking on the arrow tool, and you see how it's attached to the premise now, and I need to bring it up to the conclusion and click on it. And so now it's attached. Oh, it's not actually attached to the premise. Let's try that again. Let's delete that. Let's make a new one. They don't have to be really attached, but it's nice when they are, because then you can do this. You can move them around, which will be helpful in more complex arguments as we need to adjust things. So that's how you do a simple argument in iLogos. The last thing you have to do is make a screenshot in order to upload it to your homework file or to a test. So on a Mac it's quite easy. I just go Shift Command 4, and then I get this little gray window, and whatever I highlight in the gray window will be my screenshot. I let it go, and now there's a screenshot on my desktop, which I will go and fetch later. So there you have it.